If you're a follower of my channel, then you know that I've been predicting for a while now the demise of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is de facto world reserve currency. Now, here's the thing. Everything right now is in support of the dollar. And the dollar is showing signs of very much weakness. But I am expecting in the very near-term future a rebound in the dollar. I'm expecting the dollar to go up. I'm not going to call it a rally, but I'm going to call it what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I expect the dollar to go up some, but not a substantial amount. I'm expecting a little bounce in the dollar. It's running around 95 right now. I'm expecting it to go up around 97, 98, something like that. And this is not going to be something. This is all being caused by first off, the Fed is in a cycle of raising rates right now. This is one of the reasons. This is tremendous support for the dollar. Second reason is oil prices are being suppressed. The price of precious metals is being suppressed. All of this supports the dollar tremendously. So I'm expecting the dollar to have a little rebound because I think that that this has been overdone a little bit. The dollar dropping as of the conditions out there right now. People, one of the things they're going to run to the dollar for a safe haven asset when trouble comes, just like they run to gold and silver. And this is going to help to support the dollar. As well in the short term. So this is all what I'm talking about right now, the dollar going back up, strengthening a little bit. It's all going to be short term. It's not long term. It's going to be something that's going to last until the Fed breaks down and goes back to accommodative monetary policy. Now, that's going to happen. And the reason why I say that's going to happen is we're heading headfirst into a recession. And actually, we've been in sort of almost in the malaise of a recession all along. What we're really heading toward is a depression. They're not going to call it a depression, no, they're going to call it a recession. In truth, it's a depression. We're heading headfirst toward this recession. It's coming. And it's coming soon. And what you're going to see happen is you're going to see part of it, they're going to run into the dollar. The dollar's going to strengthen. Could lose a little bit on, I don't expect substantial drops in the price of gold and silver during this, but it could lose a little bit. It could drop back. It could make, it could come close to its lows, or it might even, it's a possibility it could even break its lows. But if it does, you're going to see silver is going to break. If they go too low with the price, it's going to break. And when it breaks, then it'll shoot up. This whole game that they're playing, everything is getting so out of whack. It's what's causing all these flash crashes and stuff. Everything's so out of whack right now. And we're getting ready for a 2008 type of event. It's in our very near future. It's going to be a deflationary event. All indicators are pointing toward this coming in the very near future, this deflationary spike event. But it's not going to last long. It's going to be very short-lived. And then when it's, I'll call it repaired, because they're going to come rushing in, they're going to have to come rushing in with monetary aid and support for this. Because this is going to be a shock event that is so profoundly strong, stronger than the 2008 one. And so if you're looking at it like an earthquake, the 2008 one would be a magnitude 7. This one's going to be a magnitude 8. So they're going to have to come running in to support it with monetary support. And what they're going to do is they're going to go back to a quantitative easing. First thing they're going to do, they're going to drop the interest rate back down again. In fact, that's why they're trying to get the interest rate right now up higher so that they can drop it back down when this thing comes. They know it's coming. And all this stuff about Janet Yellen telling you she can't see anything in the foreseeable future in her lifetime and all this stuff is all a bunch of baloney. They're feeding us so much baloney it's not even funny. So anyway, this thing's coming rapidly. When it hits, they're going to go back to accommodative monetary policy. What's going to happen then is then we are going to go have a real honest to goodness economic recovery. For the first time since 2008 till now. We've been in the doldrums 2008 till now. It's that economic recovery is going to feel good at first because of all of the velocity of money has been going slower and slower and slower. That's going to turn around. That velocity of money is going to shoot up. And it's going to increase spending and increase jobs and everything. But that's when you're going to see your inflation. You see, what people don't understand is a hyperinflation is not caused by a depression or by a recession. A hyperinflation is caused by a loss of confidence in the buying power of your money. And that loss of confidence doesn't come when they're running to the money as a safe haven and they're hoarding it. It comes on the opposite of that when they're pumping the money in and the velocity of money is increasing, not decreasing. And so that's the condition, perfect conditions, the perfect storm for a hyperinflation is actually coming. And it's going to be a turnaround. And that turnaround is going to be signaled by the powers, the central banks are going to signal that turnaround. When they have to react to this deflationary event, they come in, they react to the deflationary event, they basically dump money in to turn it around. That's when they turn everything around. That's when we get the economic recovery. But that's when you start to see prices pick up. And I'm not talking about just a little bit. See, prices have been going along roughly fairly stable. You haven't seen any real substantial increases in prices since 2008 till now. You're going to see them. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. And that's when confidence is going to be lost in the purchasing power of money. That's when people are going to start running in, pulling the money out of the bank and trying to spend it on whatever they can spend it on to buy things. You're going to buy it right now. And that's what's going to pick the economy up. That's when you're going to start to see store shelves cleaned out. And the stores are going to be making all kinds of money. And they're going to want to hire new employees or more employees. And there's not going to be enough people to fill the jobs. And the velocity of money is going to pick up. And that's the good times at first. But that's the first stages of the actual real hyperinflation. Not an imaginary hyperinflation, like all these guys have been up there saying, oh, hyperinflation's coming. And they point to signs of the economy slowing down as signs that the hyperinflation is coming. Well, no, that's signs deflation is here. The real sign that the hyperinflation is coming is when the economy starts to heat up. Not when it's slowing down. So all this time from 2008 till now, she's been slowing. And slow. And slow. And they've been talking about a fake economic recovery. Saying, oh, an economic recovery. But we all know it's not real. One excellent channel that people can go to take a look at his videos is Dave at X22 Report. And he talks about the condition of the economy quite often, almost every report. He talks about the condition of the economy. And he can see it's bad. It's not good. There's no economic recovery. He points to this clearly. There's no economic recovery, and there hasn't been. But, trust me, when this whole thing turns around and they open the floodgates of money after this deflationary event or this recession hits, then we're going to see a real economic recovery. And that is going to be your trigger. That's your trigger to the real trouble that's going to be coming. Because that's going to be when the confidence is going to be lost. And I'm going to tell you, gold and silver is going to do probably the best. But let me tell you, cryptocurrency is going to do awfully good too. It's going to thrive under these conditions of a hyperinflation. Cryptocurrencies is just going to go nuts. They're just going to explode. Absolutely explode. And if you haven't got, when the hyperinflation actually really does hit, if you haven't got out of the paper currencies and into the crypto space and into the gold and silver, physical gold and silver, then you are going to actually be cut to pieces. If you've got money in the bank and in the banking system, it's probably going to get so bad in the end that it's not going to be worth the gas to go into the bank with your car and get and withdraw the money. The gas will cost more than your bank account's worth. In the end, that's how bad the hyperinflation can actually get in eating away the resources of the middle class. Because that's what this is going to crush. It's going to crush the middle class when it finally does hit. And that middle class, they count on their savings. The money that they have in their savings accounts. That money is going to be eroded at such a rapid rate when this hyperinflation actually really does finally settle in and root. But it's not going to happen until after this deflationary spike event occurs. And during the deflationary spike event, it's going to make everybody want to run to what they consider the safe haven, which is cash, which is the worst place that they can run. So it's going to have them running in one direction when they should be running in the opposite direction. And there's a number of deflationists out there who see this coming, and they're going to be saying, "Oh, we were right all along. We told you should invest in the dollar and stuff." Well, there is a possibility that there'll be a very short time frame, very, very short time frame, where during the deflationary event where you could trade off those dollars for a higher yield. But that'll be so tricky that it's probably not worth going for. Even though you could possibly do it. There might be a month or 2 months there where the dollar will be going up in value during the deflation, where you could trade it off and have enormous value for your dollar just before it goes the other way. But that trade would be so tricky, and you might not get out of the trade quick enough. You might get trapped and get stuck with your dollars. That's how tricky it's going to be, because when it switches, the sign when it's going to switch is you're in the deflation, it's proceeding along, and your dollar is becoming more, buying power is actually going up in your dollar. The trick in knowing when the switch is going to occur is watch the central banks. When they come out with their accommodative monetary policy, that's the switch. That's like them pulling the switch back. And that switch is going to happen so fast that just after they do it, like you might go to bed one night and you're in the deflation and the dollar's going up in value, and you're thinking, hey, I'm so glad I got all into dollars, I'm all into dollars and I'm great, and you think, okay, this is great, my dollar's being worth more and more. The next morning you wake up and they've thrown the switch and you don't have a chance to get out because it'll come so fast in the opposite direction. So it's going to go one way and then it's going to reverse and go in the opposite direction so fast. So one night you'll be able to go into your coin store and be able to buy some eagles, and get tremendous value for your dollar. Goodness knows they might go down to $12 a piece, And then the next morning you wake up and the Federal Reserve overnight while you've been sleeping has changed and put in accommodative monetary policy and announced it in the news. So then you go to the coin store and they're all sold out. That's that quick. And they're cleared right out. Nothing left. Everybody's been in there ahead of you. And they've got them all. So just that quick. Everything can just change just that quick. And plus the price. The night before they were $16 and the next day they're $32. And that's when confidence is going to be lost in the purchasing power, because the purchasing power is going to go downhill that fast when they change their accommodative, because they're going to come in with this time with bigger and brighter and bolder accommodative monetary policy. Last time it was what? 80 billion a month. This time it'll probably be 250 billion a month. And they'll drop interest rates down to zero or even negative at the same time. And then they'll also announce social programs that they're going to bring in. What we call helicopter money, which is probably a tax rebate. They'll probably do a tax rebate to all citizens. They have your social security number on file, and all they have to do is look it up, and they find out how much taxes you've paid in your whole lifetime, and they'll write you off a check. Because they can make money. They can make endless amounts of money. They can make as much money as there are leaves on the trees. And Ben Bernanke has already said, he said that if we have to, we will fly over in helicopters and dump $100 bills out the windows. If we have to end the deflation. He's already said that. That's why they call him Helicopter Ben. Ben Bernanke. So when this whole thing turns around, they're going to turn it around. And if you're stuck in that paper when they turn it around, and this is all part of their plan. They support the banking system and stuff. And they're going to support their buddies just like they did in 2008. When the whole thing hit in 2008, didn't they make all of their buddies rich? Didn't Paulson go out and make all of his banking buddies rich? And then they sat Ben Bernanke down and they grilled him. And they said, Ben, where did the money go? Tell us where the money went. And he was in court there. He was sitting in front of the legal system. And he has so much power. They said, tell us where the money went. And he just said, no. And they couldn't pursue it any further. That's how much power they have. And so with that kind of power, they can do practically whatever they want to the financial system. They can take anything down to whatever price they want to take it to, using the exchange. Can't think of the name of it right now offhand, but the exchange stabilization fund. They can manipulate the market. Unbelievable how they can manipulate the market. You know, and so listen. I've pretty much laid out for you how this thing's coming. It's coming fast. And it's all tied in to the price of oil going up. That's when they're going to lose control and the price of oil is going to shoot up like unbelievable. And that's when the hyperinflation's on. That's when the price of oil is going to be shooting up. It's all tied into oil. This is an oil-based economy. That's why they call it the petrodollar. The petrodollar has been being eroded for a long time now. So thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next article. Bye.